All right, joining me on the line is Jake Walker. He is a front page writer for Red State. And Jake Walker, thank you so much for stopping by South Georgia.
Yeah, well, it's great to be here, Wild Bill.
Hey, you had a great article here in Red State talking about the Georgia 12 race, John Barrow versus Rick Allen, and there's a source of contention here dealing with the Port of Savannah, and we found this out in the last debate. What exactly happened in that last debate, and how was Port of Savannah handled?
Well, the question, how would you capitalize on, it was a question addressed specifically to Rick, but both candidates got time to sound off on the issue. And the question was, how will you capitalize on the Port of Savannah as it relates to the people in your district? And Rick Allen pointed out that for all that John Barrow might try to trumpet the Port of Savannah, his role in it, Barack Obama took the money out and only put it back in when everyone, in Georgia basically got in a huge uproar about it. And John Barrow said, well, I never tried to say that I was a leader of getting the port dredged. And that got actually the audience laughing at John Barrow there. He tried to pin it down as a leader of a bipartisan effort. But if you look at his ads, he aired an ad that said basically when the Obama administration took out the funding, I took them on. It's not I led a bipartisan effort or I assembled a coalition that took them on. I took them on. So it's an interesting contrast. In the debate, he tries to paint himself as a bipartisan leader, but in the ads, there's no mention of any, coalition, anyone else, the Republican senators, Saxby Chambliss and Johnny Isakson, or anyone else.
It's interesting. I think John Barrow is being challenged like he has never been challenged before in past elections. And a lot of times people would just accept what he had to say without any real challenge, and they believed what he said. They like what he does because he visits the district. He has many different town halls. He talks a great game, but this is the first time I really think he is being challenged down to the Port of Savannah, from Obamacare to many other different issues too.
Well, Rick Allen deserves a lot of credit for understanding that he has a real chance to take out John Barrow, and he has done a real good job of voicing his constituents, voicing his hopefully would-be constituents' concerns, and communicating as well conservative values as a way that they can relate to South Georgians. And the other thing is, this is a election where a lot of Democrats have been put in danger. So Rick Allen is been very smart thus far about figuring out how to ride that wave and pin John Barrow to Barack Obama, no matter how much Barack Obama might try to, John Barrow might try to run from Barack Obama.
You can't tell the difference either, can you?
Exactly.
It's interesting. I've heard some pundits say, some D.C. pundits, some Atlanta Republican pundits say that somehow John Barrow is inoculated from Obamacare because he didn't vote for the ACA in the end. And because of that, people give him a free pass. But I have seen these commercials on here where Rick Allen has really tied has tied John Barrow to Obamacare. Explain how he has done that.
Well, one of the biggest things about that is the biggest things that you can tie John Barrow to Obamacare for is that when the issue of defunding or repealing Obamacare has come up, John Barrow has voted for it. And he's done it at least 3 times. And I've seen some people talk about 27 times. I haven't quite figured out what they're talking about with the 27 number, but I know there's been at least 3 votes for the repeal or to defund, and he's voted to keep Obamacare all 3 times. So that's one of the big ways they've been trying to tie John Barrow to keeping Obamacare.
It's interesting because during that whole debate, when we were leading up to the vote for the House, to pass Obamacare. I don't recall John Barrow taking to the microphone and pushing back against this at all. And we're finding out more and more. It's like this waiting for the coast is clear kind of mentality where all the Democrats vote, and if it's safe for him to vote no, so this bill passes through, he's going to do that. Is there any truth to those accusations?
Well, what you've talked about is something that the Savannah Morning News noted a few months ago. They talked about how he has this tendency of finding out, is the bill, if it's a Republican bill, does the bill already have enough votes to pass? And if it does, I'll go ahead and vote for it, because it's already met the 218 vote threshold. Or if it's a Democrat bill and it's clearly not going to pass, he'll vote accordingly, so that way he can say, well, I voted against Obamacare, or that's how he voted, and say he voted against Nancy Pelosi for Speaker. He waited until John Boehner had enough votes, and then he voted for someone other than Nancy Pelosi, once it was clear that Pelosi wasn't going to get the gavel. And he's been very good. He's been very consistent about finding opportunities to do this. And like I said, this has been noted by the Savannah Morning News.
In past years, he's been able to get away with sending out mailers to Democrats saying one thing and sending out mailers to Republicans saying another thing. And it seems like this year he's not getting away with it. In your article, you have mentioned this. And is there a commercial running right now where he is trumpeting that he has been endorsed by Barack Obama on certain radio stations?
If they would, they're probably in, majority black precincts or majority, Democratic precincts he would be airing this. But I am not familiar with any ads he's currently running. Although if I were Rick Allen, I would be have an ad out that would be hitting him real hard on distributing, mentioning I'm endorsed by Barack Obama to Democrats, but not saying anything about that to Republicans. If I were Rick Allen, I'd be hitting him real hard on that.
And it's interesting, one of the crown jewels, so to speak, for John Barrow is this whole no budget, no pay. There is an ad right now that is running where Rick Allen is really challenging that for John Barrow. What exactly is Rick Allen doing as far as that challenge is concerned?
Well, basically he's saying that when, John Barrow said, no budget, no pay, but when the vote came up to say no pay, John Barrow voted to pay himself and to pay everyone else. So, it's just blatant hypocrisy from John Barrow. And when you finally have a candidate who's willing to hit John Barrow on those issues, suddenly things don't look so good if you're John Barrow.
Are there certain things that Rick Allen could be doing that he's not doing right now, or do you think right now he's firing on all cylinders for this campaign?
Well, as far as I can tell, he's doing a great job running his campaign. I don't really have any specific advice except for maybe if he's not already, because I haven't heard all the ads that he's playing, but if he's not already, hit John Barrow on being on his just duplicitous behavior, trying to send one set of information out to one district and send another set of information out to another part of his district. I don't think he's hit John Barrow on that yet, but I think there's some real, opportunity there. That's the only thing I'd really have to say.
Jake Walker of RedState.com. He wrote his latest article, which is on the front page. Jake, how can people find out more about you and what you do?
Well, you can visit me at Red State, and I write under the name Jake. So just no Jake Walker, just Jake. And also my Twitter handle, Jake _W is my Twitter handle. So just find me out there. And if you've got any questions, I'm willing to take them. So.
All right. Sounds great. Jake, we appreciate you stopping by South Georgia today.
Hey, no problem, man. Anytime.